covering the Gypsy Rose story.
Which up until today, believe it or not, I had never heard of.
I know what you mean in the sense that a few days ago I was exactly in the same place and it's everywhere. I cannot not see it.
Yeah.
It's on every timeline of every social media, people talking about it, making memes, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Why has everyone got such a strong opinion? And I've seen a lot of people like, oh, stop talking about her, stop making content on her. If you haven't noticed since being released, she's gained a lot of social media following, and by her very own words, she would like to monetize and get her story out there the way that it's supposed to be told. So,
I mean, for us, it's an awareness campaign once again, isn't it? You know, we'll get into it and on the other side of the intro, but, you know,
yeah,
there's certainly value for us covering it rather than just being part of the gossip train.
Yeah, you'll see, like, a main theme throughout this is poor mental health not being addressed in the correct way. And how much could have been avoided.
Yeah. Wow, what a story.
So, intro time.
Indeed. See you on the other side. And for those of you that have joined us on Instagram, you can get a much better view of us on YouTube. So we won't be offended if you come off the live feed on Instagram and head over to our YouTube channel and view us on there where you can get involved in the chat as well. We can't actually monitor the chat on this, unfortunately.
Okay, so hello, if you've come over from Instagram. If you've come over from the Instagram live, we are covering the Gypsy Rose story, so without any further ado, is that the correct way of saying it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Without further ado.
Without any further ado.
Why do I try and say things that I wouldn't normally say?
Because we're on the spot, we're live.
Professional
Formal.
broadcasters.
We're being formal.
Yeah, before we started this, Lindsay was like, we've got to be careful not to laugh. And I said, look, this is the internet. I'm going to laugh. There are points where, because if I don't, I'll just have to turn the whole computer off and leave because life is too crazy if I can't laugh at it.
That's the thing. The story is so bizarre that you kind of forget the hurt that's genuinely come with it, if you see what I mean. There's been murder. There's been lives ruined. So it's that kind of intricate balance, isn't it, between being entertained by it and actually having a bit of empathy for those that find themselves in these scenarios. So for those that haven't heard of the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case, do you want to give us a bit of an overview of what the story is so far? So, yeah, we know that she's currently been released, but how did we get there?
Yeah. So she was born in 1991, the year before me. It's really weird to look at her being like...
She's your age.
Yeah, things like that always touch a little bit closer to home.
You can kind of feel like you can relate at the age, like, oh, when they were 19, I was too, or, you know, whatever was in fashion, that was in fashion when I was that age.
Comparing, like, the sort of things that I'd have been doing at that age compared to what was happening to her, it's crazy. So she was born to Dee Dee Blanchard, who we'll learn way more about in this than...
as we go along.
Yeah. So from birth, Dee Dee lied about Gypsy's health, due to what we now understand to be as Munchausen's by proxy. There was a list of things that she learnt that she lied about, things that she suffered with sleep apnea, there was leukemia muscular dystrophy, saying that she required a wheelchair and had multiple procedures done that just didn't need to happen.
Yeah, she said that she had a mental age of 7, didn't she? So when she got a bit older, she would squeeze her hand to keep her quiet in public.
Yeah.
Or fall back on she doesn't know what she's talking about. Her mental ages of 7. Visual impairments, hearing impairments, seizures.
She had her salivary gland.
Yeah, saliva glands removed.
Yes, and if you see her teeth... in pictures from her before she's had them done, they look perfect now, queen.
Yeah.
But because of, if you can't make saliva, which keep your teeth
clean,
fresh and clean and healthy, if you've ever seen The Act, which we'll get into a little bit later, there's a program on Hulu that depicted it. It literally shows her teeth starting to fall out and her mum pulling them out, just to kind of...
So I suppose it played into the she's not very well, with her then having teeth that
Exactly.
needed removing and things.
So she's shaving her hair, giving her feeding tubes. She had a lot of medications that she didn't need as well, which would have obviously loosened the stability of her teeth as well.
Yeah.
The girl had no friggin' chance with a mum like this.
I mean, she was taking her from doctor to well, she was taking her to the doctors, and then the minute a doctor started to get suspicious about perhaps test results coming back as not what you would expect, she'd just move doctors, wouldn't she? She'd take her to a different doctor. To the point where, didn't she even move state at one point?
I actually had no idea that she'd moved to state.
Yeah.
Is that the case?
Yeah, I'm sure she, I can't remember where she was, but she went to Missouri, Springfield, following a Hurricane Katrina. She said that that they'd lost their house, lost the medical records, so that allowed the lie to continue,
Right,
because
yeah.
she'd lost the medical records. But then that also allowed her to pick up and move away from family. When family started to get suspicious,
Yes.
she'd just kind of swap and change where they were.
I think the dad had a very similar experience where, like, he initially was told that she's not very well, and out of fear of never being able to see her again, he just kind of let them.
Well, even the dad
Do
was
what they want.
singing her praises, for being such a wonderful, caring mum, because what he's being told is your daughter is seriously ill.
Yeah.
So he was so grateful to
Yeah.
Dee Dee for providing the care to her.
Because it sounds like your own, you might not be with this woman, but God, she's Mother Teresa, thankfully, for my daughter.
Yeah.
That's just not the case. So yeah, that moving around the Hurricane Katrina thing also brought them a load of charity handouts. There was Habitat for Humanity, who built them a house. I was trying to find the picture of the house.
The thing that I find most distressing about these details is how many people I know that could do with this kind of intervention and help and don't get the support they need, and yet you've got somebody who was making it up
Yeah.
that was getting, and it's such a shame, isn't it? Because that's when we end up with these distrustful, people being able to blanket whole areas of, they're just making it up, or they're just money grabbers or whatever, because they've heard of a story like this.
Yeah, 100%. Like, if you've been tuning in since the start of the year, you'll know I've been in the hospital trying to get some help for some pain on my right side. And each time they look at me like, doesn't really make sense. And I'm like, oh my God.
That's why I've come to you for advice,
Yeah.
the medical experts.
So when I'm looking at this story and I'm like, she got what treatment for what, not illness?
Yeah, it is bizarre.
And I can't even get a proper scan. Like, it's just...
Dee Dee, though, the mother, she had some nurses training herself.
Yeah,
So that allowed her to kind of be able to con people and to know what symptoms to drop.
Yeah.
It's
a really common thing, unfortunately. Teachers, police officers, psychotherapists, doctors, gynecologists, these people that are trusted with very sensitive, personal topics that you need a lot of help with, they put themselves in there because they know that they can be in a better position to carry out
manipulate.
Yeah, and get away with the thing. It's horrible, and it happens so much.
Yeah, I mean, as a teacher, we have come across those scenarios before, and actually quite recently I had a student that came into the classroom, did really, really well,
Oh my God.
but then was withdrawn from parents' side of things, from mum's side of things.
We've not been live.
Well, we're live on here. You guys have had the full episode.
Oh my God.
Have we not been live on YouTube?
We've just filmed what we thought. Oh, there we are. We're live now. Oh my God.
What's going on?
So, OBS, the streaming thing that I use, worked, but YouTube was like still asking me if I'd like to go live that whole time.
No. So we're 15 minutes in, but we're not.
Every time we start a real good podcast. Lol, no.